Well, Robert, thanks for being with us on Jerusalem Dateline.
It's always great to see you, Chris.
You know, Israel experience. You have scholars, the best and brightest from many of the colleges around the United States, and you bring them here. What's the whole purpose of that?
You know, Chris, it's extraordinary when we look at the fact that with all of the conflicts around our globe, conflicts in Syria, conflicts in Cyprus, conflicts in Kurdistan and in India, yet this tiny conflict here somehow occupies so much of the world's attention, not only geopolitically, but also academically.
Right.
And so we see on the university and college campuses around the world a disproportionate amount of attention given to the Israeli-Arab conflict. And so what we felt to do was to find the best and brightest Christian young people and to bring them here for a month of intensive introduction to the realities on the ground, so that when they are in the university classroom, they can speak to this issue from a first-hand perspective.
So you see the battleground on the university campuses and college campuses around the world, and specifically on the U.S. as well?
There's no question that there is an absolute rise, not only of anti-Zionism. You know, it's first introduced as attacking Israeli policies, but it soon becomes not only anti-Semitic, but also anti-Western. And we see this increasingly on the college and university campuses. One quick example, one of the universities in New Jersey, one of our student scholars went and applied to start a Christian group on campus, filled out all the paperwork, went through all the normal procedures, just like there are a whole plethora of different groups. Her group was denied over and over and over again. She had to engage in a 2-year battle to get this group introduced to campus.
We've met some of these people. They're quite bright. What's the reaction they have after they come here to Israel?
It's interesting, Chris, because we make it a point not to bring those who necessarily have already made up their mind. Many of the students come and they're a little ambivalent. They're coming as seekers. They're not sure what they feel. But after coming here, and after not only visiting Israel, but going into the West Bank areas, going into Bethlehem, going into other places where the Palestinian Christian community is feeling incredibly pressured and incredibly maligned and ostracized, they come back with a whole fresh perspective. And we can list student after student who the entire trajectory of their life's future has shifted because of what they've experienced here in the Holy Land.
Would you say mainly it's a battle over truth?
Without question, it's a battle over truth. And history tells us if you tell a lie often enough, loudly enough, in enough different forms, eventually that lie is believed. And there are so many misconceptions, misunderstandings, and mistruths, lies that surround this conflict.
Right. Now, the Israel experience is something that you do, and you do something else. Actually, Eagles Wings does a whole lot. But one of the main things you do here in Jerusalem is called the Day of Prayer for the Peace of Jerusalem. What is that?
We're celebrating a decade this year of gathering believers around the world on the first Sunday of every October, not gathering them to this city necessarily or to a meeting, but in their local churches. And whatever church they're in, a Methodist church, a Episcopalian church, an evangelical, wherever they are, let's fulfill Psalm 122:6. Pray for the peace of Jerusalem. They may prosper who love thee. Certainly this city needs prayer. So whatever your theological background, whatever your political background, we all should be able to begin in the place of prayer and humility, that what mankind has not been able to produce here, we need a higher power to help us with. So we gather together the first Sunday of every October, globally, 174 nations participating, close to 300,000 churches registered last year, praying for the peace of this city.
Well, it's grown exponentially in the last 10 years. So when people are praying for the peace of Jerusalem, what are they praying for?
You know, I think they're praying for something beyond their full understanding. Certainly as Christians, our hope is the coming of Jesus, our Messiah. But for those who pray from different backgrounds, they're praying for something beyond their experience. They're praying for something beyond what they know. And as we begin to hear now around the world of Muslims having these amazing visions of Jesus and coming to faith, there's all kinds of amazing things happening in our world today. And so I believe that the God of peace, the Prince of Peace, will manifest himself even beyond our own apprehension of what we've understood yet.
Would you say that this is such a critical time in history and eternity to be sort of standing in the gap and praying for the peace of Jerusalem?
I don't know. We look historically. I was in a meeting not too long ago where the Prime Minister was speaking, Bibi Netanyahu, and just speaking about the fact that in the modern state of Israel, the past 65 years, never has she been surrounded by such incredible unrest. I mean, the unrest in the Middle East is absolutely extraordinary. Certainly this part of our world, which then affects the whole globe, is going through, let's believe it to be the birth pains of revival. Let's believe it to be the travail of something greater to come, that we would see shalom in this place and in our time.
We can hope and we can pray.
That's right.
Robert, thanks for joining us.
Always a pleasure, Chris.
Great to be with you.